I'm joined with Matthew Willcox from Robex Resources here at the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit. Matthew, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
So as we're sitting here doing this interview, gold is hitting all-time highs. I imagine you're aware of that.
Yeah, I just found out about it then actually. But
And the theme seems to be, when we're talking to a lot of these companies here, that there's a huge disconnect between what's happening in the macro with the price of gold, the price of silver, and ultimately the capital that is flowing into the equity names. What's your take on that?
well, I think equities are still a little bit unloved, but I think that's deservedly so. There's a lot of lifestyle companies out there, and they're not actively looking to develop their deposits, and there's a lot of money flowing in that never actually gets returned to investors, and that's one of the things we like to do at Robex is really build companies that return value to our investors and continue to grow after we develop our Kinero project.
So you think that it's just sort of a case of the retail investor community that's out there is just tired of getting burned, and they need to see some real returns until they're going to start to come back?
Yeah, look, people like to see money spent on the ground developing assets, and they like to see assets get developed into gold mines, whereas there's precious little of that actually happening at the moment, and there's too many. I'd say there's a lot of lifestyle people that that we'll sit there and drill an asset out forever and never towards building it.
And those are the ones that I noticed that are here that are having the hardest time raising money are the ones that I've chatted with that I question how serious they are about taking something to production. So let's talk about a company that has gotten to production, a serious gold company here in Robex. For our audience new to the story, what's the high level overview?
Well, we've got a small producing asset in Mali, so it's an unloved part of the world at the moment, especially for investors. So it's Nampala. It's producing about 50,000 ounces a year. It's making relative 2 million free cash flow a month. So it's still a cash generating asset, but it's as I said, Mali's an unloved part of the world. We've got a big development asset that we're actively developing in Guinea. It's to the south of Predictive's Bankan deposit. We've got about 3.4 million ounces in resource there. We had about 970,000 ounces of reserve at our last feasibility study, and we're hoping this feasibility study puts us in the range of about 1.5 million ounces, and we have a production profile over about 150,000 ounces a year at all-in sustaining costs sub 1,050 an ounce.
So what kind of cash flow are you guys generating right now?
About 2 million free cash a month.
Okay. When you look at your projects, is the plan really to focus on the production here, or are you guys really looking to expand the size of the resource?
Well, the plan at the moment is to develop Kinero, which is at Guinea play, have that developed and into production by the end of next year. And from there, we want to grow, and we want to actively grow and through the organic or M&A activities in West Africa or the rest of Africa and see where we go.
So what can you tell us about Mali and Guinea as mining jurisdictions?
Look, Guinea's been very stable for a long time in terms of its jurisdictions. They haven't changed their resource base, they haven't changed their state ownership, they haven't changed their royalties, and they haven't changed their corporate tax rates for 20 plus years. Guinea's had its problems, but at the moment you've just got an enormous amount of money flooding into the country, and that's mostly on the back of the iron ore development of Simandou project, which is Chinalco and Rio Tinto. So they're spending approximately $200 million a week in Guinea developing that project. So there's a massive amount of infrastructure being built in Guinea. It's really on the way up as a country and as a jurisdiction, and it's attracting investment both in bauxite, in gold, and in iron ore. So it's a country that's got a lot of levers to pull to raise revenue, I guess, which is not the case so much in Mali, where their one source of outside revenue comes from their gold mines, so they want to hit the gold mines up whenever they need to. So it's not the easiest jurisdiction in Guinea, but it's certainly on the way up, and that's where you want to be in a country when it's on the way up and not on the way down. So.
Well, one of the themes we're hearing about this week is that there's a lot of M&A talk in the air. Are you guys getting calls from larger producers?
Yeah, look, there's certainly whispers of M&A, but yeah, we can't really talk about that. So it's yeah, look, we're focused on development at the moment, so and we're really driving towards it. We've locked down our long lead items. We're actively drilling out our Monsunia pit to the south of the Kinuro deposit, and we're actively trying to move to the ASX as well, as we promised in our last case.
What can you tell us about your cap table? Who are the major investors?
We've got one large investor who's a French family that made their money in IT, so they're the Cohen Group. They're very supportive investors. They're very passive at the moment as well. In a recent capital raise tour, we brought in BlackRock, cornerstoned it, so they're a second largest shareholder, and then Rafa, Conway, CQS, CI, all the usual suspects came in on that raise as well. So it's we've got a very large supportive institutional base now that we developed in our last capital raise, and we're moving on to development rapid pace. So.
Okay, last question for you. If I am an investor watching, or I have you guys on my watch list, what am I looking out for over the remainder of the year in terms of the company's goals?
Well, we're putting out a new DFS. That'll probably be the very start of next year. But in the meantime, there'll be a lot of positive news flow stemming from our sort of move to the ASX, and quite a media blitz as we announce that. So there's a lot of things to look forward to, and I think the asset's really strong and it's going to hold up, and we're going to be a producer in Guinea, within sort of 18 months. So.
All right, well, Matthew, thank you very much for joining us, and I wish you guys good luck with the rest of your meetings at the conference.
All right, thanks very much.